Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to All Praise Picks. Today we're looking at the NBA. We have the Boston Celtics traveling to Denver to play the Nuggets on January 7th, 2025. So this should be a pretty good game. Currently, the Celtics are 26-10, which is second place in the Eastern Conference, and the Nuggets are playing much better than they were a few weeks ago and are now 20-14, which is fourth place in the Western Conference. I do lean towards the Celtics winning this game. Nikola Jokic just was downgraded to questionable with an illness, so he may not play. And if he doesn't play, I do think that the Celtics could probably handle business in this one. But nonetheless, it should be a pretty good game. I have a few parlays for you guys on BetMGM as well as Bet365. As always, I'll break down lines, give you my thoughts, and hopefully if you tap in, we can all win. So before I get into parlays, I do like to mention that I have a couple bonus promos in the YouTube description below. For BetMGM, it's a $100 promo, and for Bet365, it's a $50 bonus bet promo. So $150 in bonus bet could potentially be yours if you're not already signed up for these books. And if you're in one of these states, you're eligible to sign up for the bonus and receive it. So be sure to check out the YouTube description for more info on that. Now to the parlays. So these are the first two parlays that I have at plus 120 each. It's really just an accumulation of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown playing well in this game and the Celtics winning. So I have Tatum for over 20 points and Jaylen Brown to record 5 rebounds in the parlay in the middle left, and then on the parlay on the far right side, I have Jaylen Brown to score 20 points and Jason Tatum to record 5 assists, as well as for the Celtics to win the game. So for the Celtics, Derek White is out of this game with an illness, which I think will probably lead to Jason Tatum playing just more of the point guard role. Drew Holiday is a pretty good point guard, but he's really on the floor more so for his defensive prowess, and I think that Tatum will have the ball in his hands for most of the game nonetheless, even if Derek White was playing. But without Derek White, I do think that it increases Tatum's assist potential. Also versus the Nuggets, Tatum, he doesn't really score as well as he has this season or just like in his career, but his assist numbers are way higher. In his last 5 games versus the Nuggets, he's had at least 5 assists in each of those games, and he is pretty good at rebounding as well. But I kind of stayed away from his points in most of these parlays just because I think he has a good chance of generating assists. But I also do think he has a good chance of having over 20 points. He's gone over 20 points in his last 10 games, and while some of those games were without Jaylen Brown or Kristaps Porzingis, I do think that his overall game will kind of lead to him scoring 20 points, especially if he is efficient from the field. Now focusing on Jaylen Brown and his rebounds as well as his points. So his history versus Denver shows that he's a much greater scorer than Tatum is. In his last 5 games versus Denver, he's gone over 25 points in 4 out of the 5 games, and he's gone over 30 points in 3 out of those 5 games, and he actually had 41 points in his last game versus the Nuggets. So I do think with him returning from injury and being more rested overall than Tatum, he has a good chance of going over 20 points as well. So I kind of split the difference between the two of them. And in the parlay on the left side, I have Tatum for over 20 points and Brown for over 5 rebounds. And then on the right side, I have Brown for over 20 points and Tatum for over 5 assists. When we look at Jaylen Brown's rebounding, he has good history versus the Nuggets, and the Nuggets overall aren't that good at limiting rebounds to the shooting guard position. So versus the Nuggets in his history, in his last 5 games, he's had over 6 rebounds in 4 out of those 5 games, and in the one game that he fell under, he had 2 rebounds, which was kind of just an off game for him. Also in that game, he only had 13 points, so I think that he was just off overall, and I do trust his stats in the other 4 games versus that one anomaly. Brown has also gone over 4 rebounds in his last 5 games and has gone over 5 rebounds in 3 out of those 5 games. So I do think that with this game probably being more of a defensive game, especially if Nikola Jokic doesn't play, his rebound chances will be there in this one. So at plus 120 for both these parlays, if you invest 1 unit on either of these parlays, you have a potential return on investment of 120%. I split the difference and put half a unit on both these parlays, and I feel pretty good about it. But as always, have bankroll management, understanding your finances when deciding to place these bets if you do decide to place it with me. So this next parlay is at plus 160. And it's focused on really Jaylen Brown to have a really good game, which he has done in the past versus the Nuggets, and Porzingis to get 5 rebounds as well as Tatum to get 5 assists, which I spoke about earlier. Focusing on Porzingis and his rebounds. So in his last 2 games versus Denver with the Celtics, he had 12 and 8 rebounds, and he will be playing center for the Celtics in this game. I do think that if Nikola Jokic doesn't play in this game, his rebound chances will increase greatly, especially if Jamal Murray and Russell Westbrook are driving to the basket. But I do like his chances for over 5 rebounds, even if Jokic does play. He's gone over 5 rebounds in his last 2 games, and that is returning from injury. So I do think that if he plays at least 28 to 35 minutes in this game, he has a good chance of getting over 5 rebounds. I also didn't really speak upon Jaylen Brown's assists, but I do think that his assist numbers are a good look in this game. So versus the Nuggets in his last 5 games, he's gone over 3 assists in 3 out of those 5 games, getting 4 assists, 1 assist in the anomaly game, 3 assists, 8 assists, and then 0 assist in another game. And Jaylen Brown is not really known for his assist, but I do think that the Nuggets overall this season have not been good against the shooting guard position when it comes to points as well as assists and rebounds. So they give it the most points and threes to the shooting guard position and the third most assists over the last 15 games. So I do think that Jaylen Brown overall should have a pretty good game, and he has shown in the past that he can be capable of having great games versus the Nuggets. So I do think that it'll be the same in this one. So at plus 160, if you invest 1 unit on this parlay, you have 160% return on investment. I put half a unit on this parlay, and as always, have micromanagement, understanding your finances when deciding to place these bets if you do decide to place it with me. So the next 2 parlays that I have are on Bet365. Because Nikola Jokic is questionable, I wasn't able to place these bets on BetMGM, but they still have the lines open for Bet365. So I just moved my choices over there. But at plus 115, I have Jamal Murray for under 31 points, as well as Tatum to have 15 points and 2 threes, Jaylen Brown to have 15 points and 3 rebounds, and Michael Porter Jr. to have 15 points and 2 threes in this game. Focusing on Jamal Murray, he has been in a real shooting slump in this last couple of games for him. Granted, both those games were against, or 2 of those games were against the Spurs, which have been pretty good against the point guard position, but the Celtics are even better versus the Spurs when it comes to defending the point guard position. So I do think that Jamal Murray will struggle in this game. Also, in his history versus the Celtics, he hasn't gone over 30 points in 4 out of his last 5 games. He did score 35 points one game versus Boston, but in the other games, he's fallen under 26 points in both those games. So I felt pretty comfortable taking him under 31 points just because of how poorly he has been shooting lately, especially. I also like Michael Porter Jr. for over 15 points and 2 threes made. So he's been taking a lot more 3-point shots, like I mentioned in previous videos, on the Nuggets, and I do think that he has a pretty good matchup here. When it comes to power forwards, the Celtics give up the 8th most points and the most 3-pointers over the last 15 games. And I do think that part of that is because Jaylen Brown and Kristaps Porzingis were not playing. But Porter has also attempted at least 6 threes in his last 5 games, and he's made at least 3 threes in those games. And he's also gone over 20 points in 5 straight games. So I do like his chances for over 15 points and 2 made threes at just a lower overall value from what he has been doing lately. So plus 115, if you invest 1 unit on this parlay, you have 115% return on investment. I put about 40% of a unit on this parlay, and I'm still waiting to hear back if Nikola Jokic will be playing in this game. But I do feel comfortable with this if Jokic doesn't play, just because I think that he'll be the primary scorer along with Michael Porter Jr. for the Nuggets, which we'll see in the next parlay. But be sure to have bankroll consciousness and understand your finances when deciding to place these bets if you decide to place them with me. So this is the last parlay that I have at plus 140, and this parlay is if Nikola Jokic does play. So I do have Jokic for over 25 points, as well as Jamal Murray for over 3 rebounds, and Tatum for over 5 assists. So Jokic has great history versus the Celtics. He's a clear mismatch for their defense, and I don't think that Porzingis will be able to stop him. Al Horford may be able to limit him, but I do think that Jokic is just too savvy to not be able to score versus the Celtics. In his last 5 games versus the Celtics, he's gone over 30 points in 3 straight games and has gone over 23 points in all 5 games. And he's actually scored over 29 points in 4 out of the 5 games. So he's clearly a great scorer. And he's also gone over 55% from the field in 4 out of those 5 games. So I do think that if he's taking a lot of shots in this game, he'll be able to go over 25 points. I also like Jamal Murray for over 3 rebounds. So the Celtics, while they are really good at defending and limiting assists from the point guard position, they do allow the 4th most rebounds over the last 15 games. And Jamal Murray has been rebounding more frequently. In his last 5 games, Jamal Murray has gone over 3 rebounds in every single game. And also in his last 5 games versus the Celtics, he's gone over 3 rebounds in each game. And he's also gone over 4 rebounds in 4 out of the 5 games. So I do think that his rebounding floor is pretty high in this one and is a good addition to a parlay. As I mentioned before, I also like Tatum for over 5 assists. I just think that without Derek White, he'll just play the point guard position more, and the Celtics are giving up the 3rd most assists to the point guard position over the last 15 games. So I do think that if he is a facilitator rather than a scorer like he has been versus the Nuggets, he has a good chance of going over 5 assists. So at plus 140, I put half a unit on this parlay. for a potential return on investment of 140%. As always, have bankroll management and understanding of your finances when deciding to place these bets if you do decide to place it with me. So before I close out this video, I'd like to mention the 2 bonus bet promos that I have for BetMGM as well as Bet365. Check out the YouTube description for more info on those, and be sure to sign up if you're in any of these states highlighted above. So those are parlays that I have for the Celtics and Nuggets matchup. Should be a pretty good game overall, even if Nikola Jokic doesn't play. These are 2 of the top 5 teams for their respective conferences, and I do think that it'll just be great to watch. But if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and comment, as well as share and subscribe to my channel. And stay tuned for more NFL and NBA videos coming out later this week. But until next time, peace.